This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. Very good morning to all. So in last session, we discussed about updating life cycle. So now we are going to talk about unmounting phase. What is this unmounting phase and how this phase is going to be works now. So, okay, you can leave updating right now. I'm leaving the updating. So you know mounting phase, mounting, mounting and unmounting. What is the meaning of mounting? So mounting phase and unmounting phase. If you can see, mounting means inserting the component, inserting the component into the DOM tree and into the DOM tree. Okay, right. This is what exactly inserting the component into the DOM. I mean, what is the meaning of this exactly? If you can say, once component is created, so you are creating the component, right? After that, we are inserting into app.js now, right? You are inserting into app.js, insert into app.js, right? This is nothing but the mounting phase. When we are inserting, when we are creating the component, once component created, we have to insert into app.js. This process is called mounting phase. When mounting phase, we have four methods will be called. Constructor will be called. After that, GD get derived state from props will be called. Render method will be called, as well as component did mount will be called. These are the four methods will be called. We know that. So what is the meaning of unmounting? This is a question. So component is created, inserted into the DOM tree, that is mounting phase. If it is inserted automatically, four methods will be called. When you execution started, four methods will be called. What is the meaning of unmounting? So that is inserting the component into DOM tree, right? So what is the meaning of unmounting? If you can say REMOV, removing the component from DOM tree. This is what exactly the say. Adding and removing, Andy. So what we will do, once a component is inserted, we are inserting into the app.js. Okay. What is the meaning of unmounting? Sometimes we want to hide the component for some reason, or we want to remove the component from the DOM tree. After, if user logged in, display this component. If user not logged in, display that component, some other component. So we don't want to display the both components at a time. Situationally, we have to show one component, and situationally we have to show some other component. Simply says, if user logged in, display something like this. Now you can see, if user logged in, display home component. If login true, okay, login true. I'm writing the word in simply. If login true, display home component. Display home component. Otherwise, what I have to display, guys, here? Otherwise, display login component. So you have to log into the application. Simply says. So both the components are inserted, but situationally we have to display the component login true home, otherwise login. Sorry. So if user logged in, we will display home component. Otherwise, we have to display login component. Sometimes what is going to do, situationally we are show and hiding, right? This hiding or removing. So I want to tell you the word hiding also. Hiding or removing the component from the DOM tree. So this is going to be called as unmounting phase. Inserted, mounting. Unmounting, it is removed from the DOM tree, right? Let us see how this functionality will work for us, right? So here, before going to this, I want to do a small example. Let me discuss a small example, a clock example, so that you will get some clarity. Clock. In JavaScript, you know how to display a timer. Hmm? Let me take this for this unmounting phase example. Okay, let me go there. First of all, I am creating one component with a name called clock.js. Okay, CLOCK, clock.js. You can take any file here, no problem. Okay, this is going to be a class component. Yes, RCE. Let me remove this default export here. Right. Okay, guys. Now here I want to take something called clock. That's all. You can go to this app.js and add this component you created as clock.js, right? Yes, clock is added, and you can remove this life cycle. Okay, right. Now if you can load the page, what is the output we can see? Just we can see the clock only, because we didn't write anything inside of it, right? Yeah, this is the output we are getting. Or else you can make it as a timer. Okay, I want to make the timer, timer, timer. So the timer you have to display here. How can we display the timer? Actually, the current time we have to display hours, minutes, seconds. That is all about JavaScript. In JavaScript we have data object, right? So the data object we can use. Let me create a constructor. Try to observe this carefully. I am taking the timer. Okay, you can take any variable here, no problem. I'm taking one variable called timer. So here you want me to display the timer ten, 10, 30 seconds, something like this, or PM or AM something. No. If you can display like this, that's not will become. We don't have the timer is 80. What we will do, the object in the data object creating I am dot two. Sorry. Okay. Now you can see this is a new date and two local time string. Perfect. So now you can go and refresh the page. Now what is the system time? 8, 9 something. The time is getting here automatically. Okay, this time should be in running. It has to be run. How can I run the time? Once page has been completely loaded, we have to start the time running. How do I know page has been completely loaded? I mean, DOM has been completely rendered. We know that there is a method, lifecycle method. Component did mount is the method. This method will call after DOM has been completely rendered. So what I want to do, so we have to use that lifecycle method. All the lifecycle methods are not required for me this time. So this time, this is very important. Component did mount, component component did mount is the method. In this did mount method, what we want to do, we have to update the time. How can we update the time? Everybody know this dot set state, this dot set state. But every time I have to update the time. Generally, to update the time, normally in JavaScript case, we use it set interval. I think you guys have an idea. Now you can see set interval. All of you try to see set interval is a predefined method which belongs to JavaScript. See the JavaScript library, whatever you learn, you can use directly into the React.js. We don't want to import, we don't want to export anything. They will work automatically. Can you see the data object directly we are accessing here? In the same manner, set interval is a global function of the JavaScript that is also we are using directly. Set interval. We know that set interval having two parameters. One is the function and one more is the time. How for how many seconds the function should be called like this, right? Let me define a callback function, guys. Here, normally if it is a JavaScript, we will write like this and the function like this, comma 1000 milliseconds. Yes or not, right? This is the way of writing the set interval in JavaScript. I think you know very well. Set interval is a method in JavaScript. Here we have to pass a callback function. So comma the interval, for how many seconds the function should be called. In this, we will write some logic actually. We will write some logic. But in React way, what I nothing difference is there. Can you see? In React way, we will take callback function with a fat arrow. Set you can take a function like this. Understand? This is the function, comma 1000 milliseconds. So this is our React way, right? Okay. Now what I will do, let me go to my function. I'm not going to add this. Let me go and take this and this is the thing. Inside this, we are going to update the state. This dot set state. Now we will write like this. In the set state, we have object, right? Okay. Here, timer colon. This is going to be this function will call only once. But this interval, once this is called, this interval will start at calling the functionality for every 1 second timer. So now again you have to write new date dot to locale time string. Exactly, this is the function you have to set there. Now let me go and refresh the page. If we can refresh, will you see the output? The timer is working. Timer is working properly. Press F12. I think I need to check, is there any errors? I don't have any errors. Always enable this console when we're working with React.js, because if you have any errors, we can identify this. Now the timer is working. If it is a JavaScript case, this program is very easy, but we have to, in React case, we have to write like this only. There is no other way. But if you are not writing this component did mount, I think that doesn't know. Even if you can simply write set interval, it cannot work. Can you see? Is it going to work? Do you think? Now you can see I removed that. I removed that, but it is giving me an error, unexpected token, set interval or something like this. I'm getting an error. It's not working properly, right? Always, it's very nice to write the things like this. So why we have to write into the component did mount only? See, once the output has been displayed completely, then only component did mount will be called. Once output was displayed, then only we can start intervals, right? Yes, that's the reason component did mount is the best place. Okay, this is clear up to here. Okay, fine. Let me do one thing. Okay, this is clear. Now I'm going to create one more component. Try to see. This is the component I'm going to create with a name called display. You can take anything. I'm creating the component with a name called display.js. Let us create this as a RCE or any other component, you can take it. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, this is clear, right? So now what I will do here, I want to write on h1 tag, open close, display component, display the okay, or else toggle, toggle the timer. I'm writing the functionality like this, toggle the timer. Now you can go, I'm removing this. Now you can check this. I want to import display component this time. Display component is imported, not clock component. Now you can check this. If you can refresh the page, can you see? You can see display timer functionality. Okay, just you can load the page, toggle the timer. So what I want to do, uh, in this, I want to have a button. Let me have a button tag open, button tag close, butt, and button open, button close, toggle. I'm writing the button with a name called toggle. Hide and show and nothing but to hide and show. I'm writing the functionality toggle. Now there is a button. So now you can see just below the button, I want to display the time clock component. Here in I'm displaying clock component. Now you can see clock component is going to be displayed. Okay, right. Actually, this is the part of display component. This is the part of clock component. Remember, we can import one component to other component also. It is valid. We don't have any confusion here. Okay, now. So this is what exactly the component we did it, and h1 and button, and this is. But this is some other component. What I want to do, if I click this button, I want to hide. If I click the button, I want to show. Right? This is the task. Now you can see in this point of time, for hiding and showing, I will take one state. This dot, sorry, our constructor, right? Constructor. In this, I want to take the state. Visible, visible, visible true. Initially, it is true only. So I want to display the component. Let us see. I'm writing one condition here, but we didn't discuss, but it is a simple condition. Don't worry about it. Now, can you see? I'll try to see. Here, I'm taking JSX expression. Anything you want, right? You should take JSX expression here, right? In this JSX expression, I want to write a small ternary operator. So what is this is, right? I'm writing this dot state dot visible is equal to true. I have to display one component. Otherwise, I don't want to display any. Or else you can write a one message, right? I'm writing something called welcome. I'm writing some string called so or otherwise sorry. Now can we go and check this? If you can refresh the page, now you can see there is you are getting welcome. We're getting a welcome. Very nice. This is what exactly we're able to see. So if you can set this as a false, now you can see this is going to be, now this is going to be false. False equal to true. No, then sorry will be executed. Now you can see sorry is getting executed. what I want to do, try to see. In place of it, what I am going to do, I am going to load my clock component in the true block. In the hide, in the else block, I'm displaying simply a null. Nothing. We don't want to display anything in this point of time. That's why I'm just taking null. Can you see? If the value is true, true, can we see the component is displayed now? Timer is displayed. But if the value is false, will the timer is going to be displayed? No, timer is not displayed. Okay, right. This is perfect. Now, what I want to do, try to check this all of you. Timer is not displaying when, if you can set it as a false, but initially I want to set it as a false Sunday. Nothing is there, but you can see the timer will be there automatically. Okay, it's very clear. If I click the toggle button, I want to hide the component. What is the component? This component I want to hide. So what hide in the sense, simply nothing to do here. Visible is true na. On click the button, toggle button, make it false. That's all. Update the state to false. Now what I am doing here, on click equal to this dot update status. Update status is the function. That's all. Now what you can do, you can define this function update status. Save the file. Now you can go and check this update status is a function. So in this, I just want to write something. This dot set state. In this set state, what is the value of the current state? That is true. I am making visible, visible, visible colon. I won't write like this, not this dot state dot timer and this is what you have to take it. This dot state dot visible, sorry, visible. This is what you have to take it. Not initially the value is true na? When you are clicking the button, actually this value is true. Not to true means it will updated as a false Sunday. Now state value is false. If you can click it again, here false is saved actually. Here it will become here. Not false means that will become true again. So then what you will do, now I'm going to refresh the page. Can you see, Andy? Now you can check this. There is a very big problem actually, the scenario. The component is hiding, but you can see I'm going to hide the component. Oh, can you see, Andy? There is an error in my console. Can you see? That's why this is very important. You can show it again. The component is showing the output. Toggle and hide and show. Hide and show. That value, the visible value is becoming true and false. Okay, perfect, Andy. This is nice. But when I am hiding, I'm getting an error in the console immediately. What is that? Can you read this? What is the message you are getting here? Cannot perform React state update on an unmounted component. And what is the meaning of unmounted component? The hidden component or removed component. We can't update the state of the component which is hidden. This is no op, but it indicates a memory leak in our application. To fix, cancel all the subscriptions, asynchronous tasks, you can use component will unmount. And what is the method? They are saying that you can use component will unmount. This is the lifecycle method. This is unmounting lifecycle method. We have only one method in the unmounting phase. The method is going to be this is exactly. So in the unmounting phase, we have the only one method. So in the update, we have 4 methods here in the mounting phase. In this unmounting phase, we have only one method. What this method will do? This method also called automatically when a component is hidden. If it is showing, these methods will be called. When it is hidden, this will be called. Right? What I want to do here, you can go just here. I want to define the logic in the clock component. What you have to do, at the time of component loading, you are creating set interval. At the time of component hiding, we have to clear the time interval. How can we clear the time interval? Now you can see for this, I'm taking one variable here. Let me take one variable. This dot interval or any variable you can take, no problem. I'm assigning the variable. This why I'm using this, because this keyword we can access into some other variable. Now you can see I'm writing the method component will unmount. In this component will unmount, what we have to do, when this will be called, when component is inserted into the DOM. This will be called when component is removed from the DOM. But these methods call automatically. Why? They're the lifecycle methods. Now you can see we have a predefined method called clear interval in JavaScript. To this, we have to pass this time interval, and that's all. If you can pass this time interval, that is going to be clear. Now you can see what is the error we are able to see now. I think we cannot get that error right now. Now can we see? Now you are able to see the timer. Now you can check this. If you want, you can write a console.log also inside of it so that you will have an idea. Console.log uh, hidden okay now. I'm writing just for your understanding. Can you see hidden is calling right now? Hidden is not calling right now. When that will be called? If the component is hidden, yes, then the hidden is calling, and you are not getting that error also. So what we are doing in the component did mount, we started interval, right? We started interval where in the component did mount. Here we started the interval. In the component will unmount, we are clearing the interval. I mean, started and remove, started and stopping. Simply says this is going to be start interval. This is going to be stop interval. So that the function, once it is hidden, this will be called. If this is called, so the function is not going to be update the time. So the state is not going to be updated. But earlier what happened? Component is hidden, but still it is trying to update the state of the hidden component. But how can we update the state of the hidden component? It's not correct, right? So that is the reason. So we need to take component did mount and component will unmount. This is what exactly the scenario. Now you can check this. All the things are going to be worked as we expected. Now you can see the toggle hidden is there, but there is no error. If you can click it again, the things are coming. When you're clicking toggle again, hidden will be called. For every hidden, that will be called. For every loading, this will be called. Right now you can see in the console component did mount, you can write one thing, show console.log show console.log show. Initially it has to show the component, right? Now you can check this. Now initially it is shown to you, right? When I'm clicking this, it is hiding. If you can click, show is calling again. If you can click, hide is calling again. So this is how the functionality will work. The execution flow you can check in the console. If you don't know, just write for some console statements in the methods. You can see the execution order when they are calling. That's very important. When they are calling, that's very important. Okay, let me do one more scenario here for the same lifecycle methods with a different scenario. Okay, I think you got the clarity. This is removing the component. This is when add a component is added into the DOM tree, this will be called. This will be called when a component is removed from the DOM. This will be called. This method belongs to mounting phase lifecycle. This method belongs to unmounting phase lifecycle. Okay, right. Let me go for one more scenario. I want to write something called update title. Okay, this is the thing I want to write now. Update title.js. Let me show you how can we update the tab title. Tab title. Browser tab is there now. Actually, here you are able to see the tab title as React tab. Can you see? My tab title is going to be React tab as a tooltip. You're getting right. Where is my mouse here? You can check my mouse. Here is my mouse. So on top right, top left corner, my mouse is there on the tab window title, right? Exactly, React tab. I want to change the title. Let me create a class component again, RCE update title. Okay, do one thing. Okay, sorry. Okay, oh,
Hello,
something
sir.
went wrong. Class should be there. Okay, fine.
One question, sir.
Yeah, Karen.
In clock, right? Instead of component
Yeah,
did mount
please.
will come. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Ram sir. Hello.
Mm.
Component did instead of component did mount, right? Can't we do component did
Karen,
update
voice is
because
completely breaking.
component did update will not work here, sir, because component did
No,
mount
no, no.
will
We
be
can write update. See,
because that is one time only, right? This component did mount will be
when
coming in
component did update will be called.
every time.
Yes, component did mount will call one time. Component did update also will call one time. Okay, now
Ah,
every time
okay.
state is updating. But here, what set and travel do? Once it is started, once it is called, this set and travel will call automatically. Why should we go for did update? Set and what is the purpose of set and travel? One time you are starting, so this will be called one time. But the logic you written here, na, this will call multiple times. For every 1 second, this will be called. Understand
Okay,
my
okay,
question,
okay.
my point
Yeah, yeah,
here?
yeah.
See,
Got it, got
did
it.
mount will call one time only, but one time it is called, it will firing the set and travel. What set and travel will do? Set and travel will call a function for every something. You don't need to write a component did update actually here, not required. It is not
Okay,
required. Okay, na? It's
okay,
not required. Even if
okay,
you want, you can write that too also, no problem. It's not a problem. Why? Because if you can write set and travel one time, that is enough. On load the page, I have to start the timer, right? Not on updating the component. On load the page, I have to start the timer. That's the reason we
mm,
have to write into the component did mount only, not into the did update. So here you define the set interval. What it will do, once one time this method will be called. One time once it is called, this function will start execution for every 1 second. For every 1 second.
okay.
So that's the
Mm,
reason in this place we don't have did update. Now I will tell you an example with the did update, did mount. Both we will see now. Okay, let me go there. So that's the reason I taken some component called update title. Okay, here let us take one h1 tag here. So this is going to be page title or something. I'm taking page title or something. Okay, let me go to app.js. Let me import that component. What is the component? We have update title. Update title component is imported. Let me hide this component here. Right now, if you can check this, okay, you can go and refresh the page. We have page title is there. But what is my tab title here? Generally, to update the title of the document, we have document dot title. So if you can write the document dot title, okay, 1 minute, let me show you. Let me take a constructor here, rconst. Let me take the counter colon 0. Right, just I'm taking the counter 0. Here I'm writing component did mount, component component did mount. So this will be called, right, in this function I want to log one message and the console.log document document dot title. Just I'm printing the document dot title. What is the current document title? You will get it here. So go and refresh the page. If I refresh, now you're able to see spell mistake in the document. Okay, okay, go to the file, the document, right, document dot title. Okay, now you can refresh the page. Can you see what are you getting? The title of the page, React app. All right, this is the title we are having in the current document, React app, and the title you are getting. That I want to change. For example, if you want to change the document title, can you see now? I want to go and add the title like this. Document title is equal to I want to write something called welcome to React. Something I written. Now you can check this. On load the page, can you see the title is changed because initially it is a React app. What component did mount will do? It will call one time. It is calling the, it is overriding the current title with the my title. Okay, like this also we can do. And one more thing, or else let me do one small scenario here. For example, I am not taking this. Let me take a button. Button here. I want to take increment, same like increment. On click, you can take some function, this dot increment counter. Okay, this dot increment counter. So increment counter function we can define here. This dot set state, we already know how to increment the counter. So here we have something called counter colon this dot state dot counter plus 1. Okay, right, this is already we know. Perfect. Now if you can click this, can you see this dot state dot counter, count here counter. Refresh the page now. I think counter value 0 now. On incrementing, you are getting the value incremented. Okay na? Try to see, this is very important what I am going to tell you. Value is getting incremented. Now what I want to do, can you see, I'm writing component did mount. Sorry, did mount. Yes, in the did mount method I am updating my title document dot title equal to you clicked. I'm writing something called you clicked this dot state dot counter counter times something I added. And can you see now what is going to be happen? You clicked, now you can see my title You clicked 0 times because, okay, now you can see I'm incrementing the, see, you're updating the state of the counter. I updated 1 2 3 4 5 6, but still my tab title, can you see, you clicked 0 times only. That is not updating. That should be called when there is a change in the state, right? In this point of time, there is no other way. You have to write component did update. This is the right time to write the component did mount, and the same logic, whatever the logic you have here, the same logic we can write here. Now you can see this will be called when there is a change in the state. This will be called now, again we can update with the current state. Now you can check this. Now my page title is 0. If you can increment, can you see now this is 5, and my tab title is also, you clicked 5 times. Earlier it is 0 times only. Now I'm clicking again. When you're incrementing the number, the value of the tab is also incrementing. So at this point of time, both are required. This point of time, both are required. We can take did mount and we can take did update as well. And one more thing, these things we can write in other way also, like this, guys. Can you see? We can use template literal syntax. Document.title is equal to backtick. I think you know this backtick symbol. Just under the escape key, we can see the backtick symbol. So you clicked. Now you can write like this also. Here variables, we can't use plus operator here. Okay, you clicked. You can use to place the variables here. You have to take dollar this dot state dot counter, something like this. You have to take this dot state dot counter. Some people will write like this also, so remember this carefully. Times, simply we can write, we don't have any concatenations here. We can write like this, or we can write above scenario also. Completely this is the advanced syntax, template literal syntax. You want to keep any variable inside a string, we can use dollar with curly bracket, and we can keep the variable. Which one is flexible, you can use anyone actually. This is a what is the symbol, I forgot the symbol name. Under, just under the escape key, we have the symbol, and you can go and check this. Both the syntaxes will work as we expected. Now you can check this, all the things are going to be working as we expected. The title of the tab is also increasing, the page is also increasing. See, if there is, we are updating state in one place, we have to update everywhere the same value, right? For example, you are buying something. So once you buy it, once you add it to cart, we have to show you in the cart. So you are in some other page, the product should be updated in the cart once you click add to cart, something, right? Exactly, guys. This is what you should know, what is the functionality, what the people are doing, and all you should know like this. Okay now, right? Okay, so this is what exactly the concept of thing. And one more thing, we have a concept called error handling. For error handling, that is also a life cycle phase, guys. Here we have a method called get a derived state from error. Get derived derived state from error. This is the method we are having. So component did catch also. Component did catch. Also one more method is there, did catch. Both the methods are belongs to component error handling lifecycle. Two methods are there, error handling lifecycle. So definitely errors are common. So when there is an error, we have to do something, right? Yes, exactly. So generally, sometimes when you're executing the programs, we will get ugly some kind of different messages on the screen. Actually, for example, I'm doing a small mistake here. Now you can see, because of doing the small mistake, your output is terminated like this. I don't want to display this type of ugly color messages in the screen. So if there is an error, yes, we have to work with that error, right? How to work with that error? Just now you can see what I am going to do. Generally, in React, we are going to display multiple components. Maybe in this app.js, you are displaying 10-15 components at a time. So we can display clock component, we can display sample component. Like this, we can display many other components. Now we are going to display sample component. Like this, we can go and we can display many other components only. Sometimes because of one component, there is an error. So or else you can go with the some other component called counter, CONT, or counter component, right? So I'm going to counter component, CONTUER, counter component is open, component closed, that we have to import the counter component. Okay, like this we will import the counter, COUNTR, counter. from /counter. Okay, right. Now can we see here all the outputs are coming. This is one component. Just now we written this is update title component. This is clock component. This is normally counter component. So if you want, you can take HR tag also between these things. I think it will be very clear for us without having any confusion between the components. Sometimes we are going to insert multiple components into the same component. So this is one component, that is one component, that is one component, three components we are having. Unfortunately, what happened, we have an error in this component. We have an error in this component. Then what is going to be happen? Everything will be terminated, and everything will be, the complete screen will be stopped. No, no, no. What I want to do, which component we are having error, clock component is having error, just display a user friendly message here by saying that something went wrong. But these components should display the output. But we don't have any error in this component, right? We don't have any error in this component. These component should display the output as it is, but in place of this component we have to display a small user friendly message by saying that sorry, something went wrong. But if you, because of one component, if the whole website is stopping, but that's not the good idea, right? So which component you are having error, display the error in that component. Sorry, something went wrong. Don't display that ugly color message. Now you can check this. I am going to clock component. In the clock component, I am removing something, whatever it may be. Now we can check this. Total output is terminated now. Where is error? You have error in clock component, not in the counter component, not in the update title component. So this is not good idea, right? Okay, or else I want to stop this manually. Let me do one thing. Return throw. I'm having throw new error, not written. I'm just going to write throw new error. This is the error message. I'm manually stopping the script execution. Sorry. Now you can check this. Now you can check this. What is going to happen? The total output is terminated. Wait, this the total output is terminated, and the error you are getting here, sorry message. But this type of messages you are displaying, where this error is there, actually this was inside your clock component, not in the update title component, not in the counter component. Which component you are having error, that component only should be hidden. For this, we are going to work with the concept called error boundary, error handling. So do one thing. What we will do, we are going to create one component. Let me show you how to create the component. I'm going to create a component with a name, something called error boundary or error handling. Any name you can take it here, no problem. This is the component. Let us create this as a class component, RCE. So if there is an error, in the component, this methods will call automatically. If error found, this method will be called automatically. Then what we will do, by using this method, in place of this raw ugly color error message, we can display a fallback UI. What we can display? We can display a fallback UI. What is the meaning of fallback UI? Actually, it has to display the timer. Because of some reason, time is not able to display this color message we are getting. In place of that timer, I want to display some kind of user friendly message with some designings and all. That is called fallback UI. Let us go and check this. In this component, I'm going to, let us take a constructor, right, rconst. In this has error, I'm defining one variable has error true. Initially, sorry, you have to take initially false, and we don't have any error. Has error? No, there is no error. That's why we're taking this false. Now you can see if you have any error found in the component, then what is going to be happen? You know, the method component get derived derived state from error. This is the file we have, right? Get a derived state from an error. This method will be called only if you have any error in the component. Let me write one small message here, console.log of error. Okay, I'm taking this as an error. I think this is static only. Static get a derived state from error. Now you can check this. I'm going to refresh the page. If you have error in the console, is that is calling? Let me go and check this. Yes, can you see render is calling? From where this is calling? We have to see error message, right? I don't know, somewhere we written, but that is not calling only, but no problem. So, but definitely this should catch that error message, and it has to, oh, this should be displayed, right? But we created, but we didn't call anything, right? Let us do one thing. The error boundary, we have to call it na. Without calling, how can we see the output of it, right? Error boundary. So this is the component we created. Okay, now you can check this in the console. Is that is calling if you have an error. Now I'm going to check this render. Okay, and okay, I'm not able to see still in the console. I written something in the console. Am I written or not? I written, but this is not coming. But let me check this. I think Andy, I need to wrap this like this, Andy. You cannot write like this. Which component having error to that component, you have to wrap actually like this. Sorry, this is not correct. Error boundary and error boundary should be closed like this, Andy. Okay, now check this carefully. It should be like this. So which component is having error to that component, you have to place the error boundary like this. Actually, this is the scenario. Sorry. Now you can check this. At least this time. Oh, very nice. Can you see? I'm not getting any message there. Okay, but there is error. We know that in the clock component, but we are not getting anything, Andy. This is very clear. So because, okay, but in place of this, actually in the middle of these two components, there should be timer component. There should be timer component. Now you can see, I'm going to error boundary, not error boundary, clock component. Let me remove this. I'm removing this. Okay. Now can we check this? There is no error, na? Is timer is coming? Oh, timer is not coming. So why so timer is not coming here? It has to come, right? Clock, yes, clock. Let me refresh the page. I think I have to written something under here. Okay, got it. In the error boundary, you have to, you are writing empty. If you should not written empty, what we have to do, if you have error, let me write one message. If this dot state dot has error, if you have error, we have to return a fallback UI. So return, so fallback UI will be like this: h1 tag open, h1 tag close, something like this. Sorry, or h2 if you don't like this, h3. Okay, let's go with h3 tag. h3 tag open, h3 tag close. I'm writing some message. Sorry, something went wrong. This type of message you have to display if you have error. Otherwise, if you don't have error, we have to return this dot props dot children and children. What is this dot props dot children? You may have a confusion here. See, for the error boundary, you are passing this as a child component, right? In the child component, if you have error, this message will be displayed. If there is no error in the child component, this is going to return the clock component. This is the meaning of children of the error boundary. Who is the children of the error boundary? Clock component. This is the meaning of children of the error boundary. Who is the children of the error boundary here? Children of the error boundary is a clock component will be. Now you can check this clearly. I'm going to, let me save the file. First of all, file is saved. Right now you can check this. We don't have any error. Now in the clock component, I'm manually returning an error and throw new error. THRW throw new error. I'm going to return throw new error. Now you can see, sorry, something went wrong. Okay, you can go anything, no problem. Now you can see, Andy. Actually, initially you will get this message. Okay, actually we don't want to stop the complete execution right now. I'm here, you can see there is a cross symbol. I'm closing this. Can you see? I'm not getting, so why? Anything wrong I did here? It has to get, Andy, but I'm not getting. Sometimes it may get immediately, sometimes it may give you some kind of stuff like this. Oh, if I close that, actually we have to see the output, Andy. We have to see the output, but I'm now unable to see the output. Throw new error. I stopped manually here. Something went wrong. Okay, this is not a problem. But why that is not coming, we have to see. Actually, yesterday's session we executed, this is executed properly, but I'm not getting here. Okay. You can go and refresh the page. You have an error. Once you close this, you have to see the output only. But see one thing, I told you, we cannot display this kind of ugly color message, right? We are getting some ugly message on the screen, right? But one thing, remember, keep it in mind. This will be come in our local computer because we are in the development environment. when the application move to live environment, we can't get this error message. We cannot get this error message only. So we can get some other user-friendly message. So 1 minute, let me check. Am I did any mistake here? My check. Have I valid or not? I have doubt actually. The spell mistakes or anything get derived state from error. Is this is valid or not? Let me check this 1 minute. Let me open the previous file. So am I did any mistake in that function? I need to check. Previously, I executed the same to 8 a.m. class, sorry, 10 a.m. class. Let me go there, src, error handling. This is the file I created for them. Let me check. So what is the code I written here? I want to check. So, okay, we have to, oh my God, I forget, here I have to up, this is invalid and we have to update the state. Without updating state, how can we? That's why the error is not coming actually. In the error page, we have to display the fallback UI. Get a derived state from error, okay, but we have to write, we have initially status is false, we have to update it as a true when this method will call automatically when error founds in the component. Okay, now you can go and check this. Now I'm refreshing the page. This time you can check this, it will be works for you properly. Now you can see the user friendly message will become here in place of it. Sorry, something went wrong. But once load the page, you are getting the error message. You are getting the error message. But remember one thing, this you will never get in the live server. You will get in the local server only. Why? We are in the development environment, so everything will be noticed to us. But if you can close this, can you see this output you will get directly in the real time. So for every component, what we will do when we are inserting a component, we are going to add error boundary, and this is going to be error boundary component open, and this is going to be error boundary close. Simply we will do something like this. Every component now onwards is going to wrap it under error boundary. Now onwards, counter component also, this is going to be error boundary, and this is going to be error boundary. Everything should be wrapped with this only. Can you see? This is what exactly the concept you should know. Error boundary. So what it will do, if you have any error in the component, this error boundary will collect, and in place of that output, it will display the fallback UI. This is the fallback UI it will display. If you don't have any error in the component, whatever the component you are displaying, right? For example, in this we don't have any component. So if we don't have any component in the update title, then automatically what error boundary will do, error is not updated to true. So error is false only. We don't have any error. So automatically it will return the current component as a children component, right? We added something, right? So this is the concept of error handling. Now onwards, what we will do, for every component which we created, we are going to wrap it into error boundary. So what error boundary will do, if you have any error in this component, children component, it will display the fallback UI. If you don't have any error, it will display the output of the component automatically as a child component, right? Okay. So this is the concept of error handling, guys, here. And tomorrow we can discuss about React styling. How can we style the React components, designing, nothing but. And conditional rendering also. How can we render the output conditionally? Those things we will see tomorrow, right? Any doubts you have, let me know, please.